Okay. Welcome, everyone, to Strange Antiquities. This demo was recommended to us by Dragon Gym. I'm gonna have to disagree with you about that one, Dreams! Gonna have to hard disagree. Monago's like 5th or 6th out of Best Girls of Stormblood. As a thaumaturge's apprentice, there's a lot to learn. Every object must be treated with care, and it is important to identify the harmful from the harmless, the potent from the mild. I'm sorry, Dreams. Sadhu and Sirena exist. I'm sorry. Sadhu is number 1. And Sirena is number 2. Yatsuyu is outside of the qualifications. I'm quite fond of Lise. I really love the Lise like growth you get in Stormblood. And also, Alize, you actually like really get real legitimate Alize stuff, because you don't get anything about Alize through A Realm Reborn or Heaven's Word unless you do like a bunch of extra stuff, and even then you don't really get to know her or see her grow. I have not played Strange Horticulture yet. It was only supposed to be a temporary arrangement when Eli left the shop, Strange Antiquities in my hands. None of us knew that by then the pendulum was already swinging with a terrible certainty that could not be stopped. Oh, they're not stopping. I thought it was gonna stop. The ravens were an omen, the circling unkindness of black wings and cheerless cries that seemed, even then, to signal the start of a rising dread. Use arrow keys or WASD to navigate your shop. Kitty! We must pet the kitty. The Thaumaturge, Eli White. Eli is a thaumaturge, a collector and curator of powerful objects. Objects that, to the untrained eye, may appear light, dull, and lifeless, but that in the right hands, and armed with the right knowledge, can be a gateway to so much more. For Eli, the quest to unearth and understand each new object has been driving force of his adult life. As the owner of Strange Antiquities, Eli is a stern master. He knows firsthand what can happen if the right precautions are not taken. He doesn't tend to show much emotion, but he does have a more tender side. A side that is mostly reserved for the store's cat, Jupiter. As it should be. Also Jupiter. Devourer of souls, Jupiter. Jupiter is the thaumaturge's cat, or more accurately, Eli is Jupiter's thaumaturge. Jupiter found Strange Antiquities, perhaps drawn to the curiosities within, and made it his home. Eli was more than happy to accommodate him, but he learned early on that Jupiter was his own master. His business is his own, but it largely consists of regular naps, terrorizing rodents, and midnight explorations of Undermere and beyond. What he does on his excursions is a mystery, but he seems to be well known among the town's residents. Yes, Jupiter does have heterochromia. I've been called away to assist in an urgent matter in Ravenglass, and must leave at once. I'm leaving the shop in your care, with some reluctance, I might add. Make use of my reference materials. Here, take this. There's an index in the back that might be useful to you. If in doubt, study it carefully, and remember that there are some powerful artifacts here. Under no circumstances should you seek entry to any locked doors, drawers, or cupboards. In fact, safest to not touch anything at all. I should be back in a few days. Okay. Oh dear, okay. Congratulations. Today is the day you meet the great Thomas Pope. That's me. I am a man of two loves, fresh mountain air and a little white dog called Hamish. But I reserve some room for laughter among friends and shops with cats in them. If you would be so kind, I am looking for a replacement for my hunter's boon. Okay. Right-click on items to inspect them. Hunter's Boon is a primitive item. They grant the power of the predator, enhancing perception and agility. They are made from trophies taken from slain beasts, with those from the deadliest predators being the most prized. They are simple items without embellishment. The rain was very intense, and I needed it to chill. Oh, it's clay. A hunter's boon. Am I... I guess? This isn't the item I'm looking for. I should slow down and think this through more carefully. Uh... A simple, unadorned, but made from the... Enhancing perception and agility. This is the only one I think I've seen that enhances perception. I don't... Is it this? It is! Oh gosh, it's Tiger's Tooth, a trophy from a predator, and closer inspection gives a sense of power. Okay. Ossic Ring. These somewhat macabre objects were originally made as offerings to the goddess Fortune, but the practice fell out of favor as belief waned. They're hard to come across now, but they're occasionally sought out for their ability to keep vermin at bay. Some say that they can hear Fortune's unearthly hiss when they hold an Ossic Ring up to their ear. Jack Hungerford. The nights are drawing in again. Dark shadows hide dark deeds, or so my father always used to say. Seems like the shadows have grown darker since he passed 2 winters ago. A creeping dark is set up in my house. I'm told a shadow hold will draw it out. Shadow hold, or a shoddic vessel, is a container of any kind, sometimes a jar or a bottle or some sort of box that can be used to contain a shoddic spirit, the manifestation known as creeping dark, pulling it from the shadows like poison from a wound. They are decorated with an elaborate design called a shadow catcher. Okay. Sunbond. A sunbond is a small and lightweight designed to be carried discreetly and made of non-precious metal of some kind, housing a gemstone of light. They carry the warmth and light of the sun, a brightness that can pierce the darkest gloom. There's an auto-labeling option in the settings if adding labels by hand isn't your thing. Please, please, please auto-label them for me. It didn't label. What's with all these ravens flying around Undermere today? Can't remember ever seeing anything like it. Not a good day to be this sort who believes in dark omens. A letter for you. We discovered some papers in a hidden desk drawer in the boatyard last night. Mr. Jones almost threw them in the fire pit, but I asked to take a look at them first. That man does like to burn things. They look old. Maybe there's nothing of much use here, but I thought of you when I came across an entry on the sheen. Charlie Withers. Jupiter, we meet again. Our paths crossed late last night on Princess Street. We shared a moment before he slunk off into the dark on important business, no doubt. I wonder if you can help me. I'm visiting my grandmother later, and I wanted to bring her something. She lives all alone on the edge of town out on Clanbrook Road, and I don't always manage to get out there as often as I'd like. I thought maybe a moon heart would bring her some comfort. Moonheart is not in there. These carved totems, more commonly known as moon hearts, can be imbued with the sentiment or feeling, such as love or joy, and then held tightly to recall the same feeling. They sometimes feature crescent shapes associated with both the Selenic and Noctic disciplines. Indeed, the form of the item itself will often have a connection to either the moon or the night. Okay, imbued with the sentiment, feeling of love or joy. Or the night itself. It is an owl. Yes. Oh, it does have a crescent shape. I didn't notice that at first. Evocant. These stone items weigh the same as a man's heart, according to popular myth. The truth is a little less dramatic, but the weight of these items is nevertheless important and should not stray more than a hair from precisely 1 pound. They are placed on the chest of those in a coma to draw them out. The behavior of these ravens is disturbing, to say the least. This is the ornithologist, Edmund Bishop. The 14th Lord of Gleeston Castle is a man of wealth and privilege like the 13th before him. He is a man who would be easy to despise as his father was, but he is well loved by those who know him. Now retired, he was a professor of ancient languages at the University of Cumbria, but his real passion is birds. His students learned to divert particularly dense lectures on Latin declension by asking about local owl species or by quizzing the professor on increasingly exotic bird calls. Edmund was only too happy to oblige, spending hours recounting stories of his adventures in Africa and New Zealand. As a rule, they only come together to feed. Ravens are omnivores, carrion eaters mostly, but they'll take anything they can get their talons into. And they'll kill if necessary. I didn't plan on dropping in today, but there's something happening out there and I'd like to know what. A voice of Cernunnos might help put me at ease, or it might do the opposite. The name Voice of Cernunnos is used to refer to any bronze torque that has certain imbued properties. With skill, such an item can be used to read the patterns of nature that are otherwise hidden to us. Cernunnos is a pagan god of the forest and nature, typically depicted as a man with the antlers of a stag and often holding a torque. Okay, so it has to be bronze. Spirit Eye. There are some who stay away from Spirit Eyes, believing them to be a window into a world that should not be seen, and others who deride their fear as nothing more than superstition. It is not clear exactly what they do show. Another layer beneath the visible world, perhaps, a layer that requires something more than the traditional senses to experience. They draw their power from the opposing symbols inscribed upon them. Oh, we did it. We made it through a whole day. The black mare thundered through the icy rain, shining wet in the silver moonlight. Her cloaked rider was exhausted, cold, and soaked to the bone. He knew he would not survive the night if he did not reach Back Barrow. I didn't realize it had a thing it wanted me to do at first. Are those shackles? An escape prisoner ran northwest. He hid me in the first building he came to. Day 2, Friday. Odd. I don't know what that is. We have to pet Jupiter. The occult scholar, Verona Green. Verona has been a constant in Undermere for as long as the streets have had cobblestones and the churches have had bell towers. She is respected and feared, which she revels in, and she is revered and admired, which she tolerates. Her knowledge of the occult world is second to none, and her expertise has steered the citizens of Undermere away from catastrophe on more than one occasion. The near misses of the Selenic Flame and the Woken Din Drew are just two of such events that spring to mind. She is of the opinion that no problem is so great, no obstacle so insurmountable, that it can't be diminished by a properly brewed cup of tea. Ah, well, that's just perfect. Undermere fizzing with fear and over these ravens, and the thaumaturge has left his apprentice in charge. Sorry, my dear, that was rude. Pay no attention to me. I'm an old lady who got out on the wrong side of the bed. These ravens have gotten under my skin is all. Please do let Eli know that I was looking for him next time you see him, and pass on my thanks for letting me borrow his copy of Hermetic Symbology. Okay. Oh boy. Okay. I feel paralyzed. I have no job, no partner, no friends, no prospects. I heard a horned shackle might be the answer. A horned shackle, huh? Horned shackles are used to bring about change in one's life, bestowing the ability to overcome personal demons. In use, the horns are rubbed between one's fingers, causing them to become worn smooth over the years. Okay. So that's not a horned shackle. Is this one? No? Yeah, but we've gone through all the item that has horns. Not all of them, but like all the ones that make sense. But apparently it was that one for some reason. Vestiger. A vestiger can be used to prevent the spread of disease and pestilence. Among other oddities, flames burn pale blue in their presence. At least the weather's looking a little better out there today. Good day. You might be interested to hear that my plow overturned a strange-looking object yesterday. Come to the farm and it's yours. For the right price, of course. Kind regards, John Royston. I want an Ossic ring. Ossic. That's a pleasing word to hold on the tongue. These somewhat macabre objects were originally made as offerings to the goddess Korchurn, but the practice fell out of favor as belief waned. They're hard to come across now, but they are occasionally sought out for their ability to keep vermin at bay. Some say they can hear Korchurn's unearthly hiss when they hold an Ossic ring up to their ear. No, okay. That figures. How? I don't... Chat, I don't... We don't have... Oh, okay, well... There we go. These eerie creations are worn by priests of Holgar in various rituals relating to death and the afterlife. The sacrament to ask for his protection, Wolfsong's truth to seek his judgment, path of the warrior to help the dead find their way. On thalamic fields, all thalamic objects produce a field of sorts. Although invisible to the naked eye, they can be observed by placing an object over a thalamic lens. Diurnal field pattern. These fields are not fully understood despite attempts to study them over the years. Reminder, I've stored a couple items in the cellar of the wine merchant next door. Where were we supposed to go? Was it the farm? Yeah, Royston's farm. So we're looking for 30. John grins as I struggle to hide my obvious interest in the item he shows me. Any hope that he might not be fully aware of its value quickly evaporates, and after a lengthy negotiation, I reluctantly hand over the amount he originally asked for. A friend of mine, or former friend I should say, has been stealing jewelry from me. 3 necklaces have gone missing over the past few weeks, including one that was a gift from my late grandmother. Do you have a suitable pendant that I could leave lying out for her to find that will teach her a lesson and make sure it never happens again? Need to make a choice here. There are no wrong answers, but my decision will no doubt affect the events in motion outside my shop. So a binding seed or a Zia? Materials. Items are made of 2 distinct materials representing the mentic and the lixic, the mind and the body. The winding path, the mind, is described by the spiral encompassing the body, the seed. A binding seed is a form of punishment that amplifies feelings of guilt and shame. A yew labyrinth at Castle Morrigan, larger than life binding seed. Or a Zia? Oops, nope. Worn about the neck to place them closer to the heart, these innocent-looking items instill a sense of fear and paranoia. They can be difficult to remove. They are made of any single material except wood or clay. They typically have no symbol or other writings upon their surface. Okay, we're gonna do the binding seed. To amplify their feeling of guilt and shame. So, out of you... I think this is... Generic charms of protection have little to offer the skilled thaumaturge, but can have some small effect. An Ashotic spirit or a wandering shroud will not abide them, for example. Such charms make use of the art of symbology, an ancient and some would say primitive component of thaumaturgy. They can be made from a variety of metals, though rarely precious metals. They've found a man just now in the house where all them ravens were. I wish I hadn't seen, but I did. His eyes were sheet white, but it was his eyes that's gonna give, or he was sheet white, but it's his eyes that's gonna give you nightmares. All black they were. It's like he weren't there anymore. I don't need to wait around for another sign. I'll be taking my family to Sidburg, and I'll be taking a Libula to see us through safely. Libulae are purported to offer reassurance in times of upheaval and change, but they are not held in high regard by most scholars of the occult. That being said, an imbuement of wisdom shows that a Libula is not merely decorative. There is power in symbology, as the old thaumaturges knew well. Imbuement of wisdom. Okay, so we want that symbol for wisdom, like the little crown symbol. Okay. Witch's Finger. Witch's fingers are said to be the severed digits of the Witch of Undermere. They are capable of inflicting intense pain, but the goal is supposedly purification of the body. A most unpleasant experience, but a last resort that has cured some and finished off others. Hey, we did it! There's a lot more to uncover in the full version of the game. More gameplay elements to discover that we won't spoil for you here, more secrets to unearth, and a sinister plot involving ancient deities, dark articles, and a meddlesome priest that will lead to one of several unique endings. Nice. Once I figured out what was going on, like once I figured out how to play the game, that went really well.